Peace, it's Bit Buddha back again with another episode of the Blacks in Cybersecurity Podcast. And today we have Neil Greene, right? He's a esteemed cyber threat intel project manager, right? And I actually know Neil through a Diversity Cyber Council. That is where I met him. And I'll let him introduce himself a bit more.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Buddha, for having me on. So, Neil Greene, I currently work at Department of Homeland Security in cyber threat intelligence, and also I met Buddha through Diversity Cyber Council. That is my way of giving back to the community in cybersecurity, helping those in underserved communities to gain the cybersecurity skills through competency and on-hands training in order to get entry-level position into cyber, transitioning from what they're currently doing into becoming more competent into cyber.
Mm. Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, giving back is like a huge part of cyber that I've kind of, it's very interesting for me because I'm just now starting in cyber, yet I'm already giving back, right? Because it's like, even with the little bit we learn, we could still educate the masses. So in Diversity Cyber Council, you're a mentor. So what has been your experience just as a coach or a mentor so far? And are there any other organizations that you have also been a mentor in?
Yeah, so when it comes to Diversity Cyber Council, just seeing where the passions that our students have and where they are and opening up opportunities because a lot of times people have the misconception that you have to go to school in
Mm,
order to get into IT and tech and cybersecurity. But that's not the case because, with schools, it's when you come out, you acquire a massive amount of debt if you don't have scholarships and things like that.
mm,
So we wanted to break that barrier and allow them to get the certifications, which one gives them the expertise and knowledge to be able to talk about the area that they want to get into, and also have
mm,
different labs and training environments in order to get that hands-on training. And
mm.
it has been very successful watching students who know nothing about IT, technology, and cyber, and then they're able to do presentations and talks about
Yeah,
different things in cyber, and
yeah.
at the end of it, we're able to help them get that job, that entry level position that they're looking for, and just to see the accomplishment, the transformation from the beginning of the course all the way to the end, and how they're able to articulate those things from having no knowledge at all. That has been a very good blessing for me.
Mm,
And also, when it comes to mentoring, I also do training. So I think not only the mind is something that you have to train your body as well, just staying healthy. So I'm a big advocate when it comes to health as well.
mm. Yeah, that's I'm a huge advocate of health as well. I've been mainly plant based since 2015, but the exercise part is a thing I'm really adamant on. And I have to get back into it because I've been moving around in different spots in different states, so I'm still finding my cadence in a sense. But mental and physical health and diet, they're all in the same exact category. Especially if you're, I feel like if you're in cyber or tech, of course we love doing stuff on our laptop, but we know in general it's not the healthiest thing. It's not the healthiest thing to be looking at screens all day. So just making
Right.
sure you live an active life is definitely hugely important. So I definitely agree on that. So, and we were speaking earlier before the podcast started, and Neil was telling me he has children as well, and I found being a mentor or coach, I feel like it's a glimpse or a trailer to what being a parent is like. Because just seeing someone who knows nothing about this, right, and seeing them gradually evolve and gradually know how to say things better and being a bit more confident and open, it's literally the most gratifying thing ever. So regardless of who you are in cyber, even if you're outside of cyber, always think about how you could share and motivate other people. Because I feel like once you're giving to other people, the energy you get from it is beyond anything. Honestly, it's definitely a beautiful thing. So I definitely agree on that as
Hmm.
well. So what was your original idea, or what was the original motivation to get into tech and cyber?
The original motivation, I would say, is just something I loved as a kid. I always liked technology. I always liked to take things apart. I always liked computers ever
Mm,
since I was young. I tell this story when uh, I was probably about probably a preteen, somewhere around there. Sub 7 Legends. It was like a kind of like a script kiddie, right?
Mhm.
We used to send it out. It was we sent out an email to someone through AIM, AOL, Instant Messenger, and then they'll click on it. It'll be like a picture, but they'll click on it, and then we have access to their system. So it was something
Wow.
that me and my friend used to do. It was illegal, right? It was illegal, but something me and my friend used to do for fun,
Yeah.
just to mess with people's screens. We'll turn
Wow.
their screens upside
Jeez.
down. We'll print out things from their printer. So it was pretty cool. So I used to just dabble in those types of things when I was younger, and it's just
Yeah.
something that grew with me.
Wow.
And what really got me into cyber. So cyber was fairly new when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I graduated from Florida A&M University in 2012, and cybersecurity was just really starting to pick up. And just being able to see how a threat actor thinks and ways to combat that. I wanted to be able to protect systems and protect companies, protect and in the U.S. government protect our critical infrastructure. It's
Yeah.
important for our everyday lives. Food and agriculture, energy, manufacturing. All these things. These are the things that we, as U.S. citizens, we need to survive. So we have to protect those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt the calling to cyber. I started my IT journey as database management at Booz Allen. From there, I tried programming. So I was still trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do in tech. I know a lot of people because it's so broad, right? So you have to experiment with. I think it's very important that people should experiment, especially when they're starting out, what lanes that you want to go into cyber or tech, and then specialize in the thing that you really love and enjoy.
Yeah.
So programming, I noticed that wasn't for me. I tried that for about 6 months, and I just did not like it. I was good at it, but
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It was
Yeah.
just too time consuming for me. I
Uh,
just like things to go really quick.
yeah.
And I got into networking, which was pretty cool. At AT&T, I was there for about 10 to 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
learning how the engineers think. I was more of the PM side and interfacing with the customers and just helping them to uh, build build their network and infrastructure through AT&T and T and testing with them and troubleshooting. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned all those skills, especially when it came to communication and troubleshooting. And then I was able to take that into cyber. I switched to
Mm-hmm.
cyber when I joined Department of Homeland Security over there. And I like it ever since in cyber threat intel. Now I'm getting more into AI. So
Mm-hmm.
I just started a team. So my next certification now, I've been kind of on a hiatus when it comes to certification. I'm trying to get more into like Scrum and Agile since we're more into the development role. So I'm back in development,
Mm-hmm.
programming, but I'm not
Yeah.
actually doing the work, right?
You're
So
right. You know, yeah.
I'm leading the team. So I still have to know what's happening when it comes to that.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember you asking because we were on like other team call. You were asking about like the Scrum and Agile stuff, and I remember when I first joined my company, realized like I thought like the daily stand up thing. I thought it was a unique thing to like my like company, but then I realized like oh like all software based like companies they all kind of do a similar thing. But for those who don't know, could you give a quick overview about what is Scrum and what is Agile from your understanding?
Okay, so I'm still learning, but Scrum is a methodology on where you're taking a requirement from uh, the requester, and then you're turning it into a product. And Scrum is a methodology in how you do that. So you build user stories. It's like the who, what, when, or I think it's like when, then. I can't remember exactly what it is because I'm still learning about it. But we have user stories that we give to the team, and then they're on a rating scale. So for us, we have like a T-shirt scale: small, medium, large, extra large. And with the user stories, we assign those to each of the engineers, and they'll probably have like a day to probably like a few hours to a day, depending on the T-shirt size of of the user story, and that is what we do with the daily stand up every day. It's about 15 minutes.
Mm,
We're the scrum master. So me, I would be considered the product owner. You have,
mm,
and then you have the scrum master. So the
mm,
product owner is the one that sees the vision, gathers the requirements. Scrum master kind of keeps the team together. So they will be the one that's running the daily meetings, 15-minute daily meetings every day, just
mm,
to see the status on every engineer's project that they're doing. And
mm,
then we combine all those engineers, all the user stories into one product.
mm,
So that user story, which is like daily, turns into a sprint. Sprints are about 2 to 4 weeks.
mm,
And then we have the product. Usually it's
mm.
like the MVP, which is called the most viable product, I believe it's called.
Most or minimum? Minimum or most?
Minimum, yes, that's it.
Minimum. Yeah.
Yes, minimum viable product.
Mm, yeah. But like, yeah, that's definitely cool. And it's stuff that I kind of well, I want to learn more about because, in contrast to you, you said that you were going into the program where you're like, that's kind of not for me. I'm realizing, especially, I want to highlight and more focus on more technical skills because I'm realizing there's a lot of varied roles in tech. But originally, when I was getting in like industry, I thought everyone was like knew how to like program, and I thought everyone knew like how to be in the command line interface. But now I'm seeing that that's not the case. So I'm more so I'm seeing that that's a niche, right? And if that's a niche, it's something I already love. So I'm trying to double down on it. So definitely be aware of like what you like and what you don't like. And I definitely think of like just focusing on more what you do like is definitely the best route to go. Yeah. So definitely good luck with your team and the whole Scrum building and all of that stuff.
Thank
And
you.
you're welcome. And yours like you're on a hiatus from the certification. Well, you were on a hiatus until now. So what were kind of the first certifications that kind of got you in the door? And like what certifications are you looking forward to in the future?
First certification that got me in the door was the Security Plus. So I got that straight out of college. I had Booz Allen was the first company I went to
Hmm.
after college, which helped pay for the Security Plus to do that.
Hmm.
And then from there, I believe I went after the CISSP.
Wow.
So with the CISSP, that was a tough one. I listened to a past interview you did where you said people cried during the CISSP.
Literally,
I
literally.
was one of those criers. I'm not gonna lie, because I actually failed the CISSP 2 times.
Wow. Wow.
I failed it 2 times, and the third time, oh man, I prayed. I
Hmm.
prayed, and it just felt like I did not pass it. That's how I felt. And
Wow.
when I actually passed, like it was like a huge weight lifting off my shoulder. Because let me
Wow.
tell you the prayer I did right before I went. I said, God, if I don't pass it this time, then I'm not going to take it again.
Yeah.
I said, this is probably not for me, Lord. So I'm
Yeah.
just going the best that I can. And if this is the path for me, then I'll let you choose it for me. But if not, then I know,
Yeah.
because I wasn't gonna take it another time. It was
He was like,
just
I'm over it.
it was too
I'm
much
done.
studying. I was studying for months. The
Wow.
first 2 times, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't study as hard as I should have.
Mm.
But the third time, I turned off everything. I didn't go out. I didn't
Wow.
watch
Hermit.
TV. I was taking a whole bunch of practice tests, and that's the level of commitment that you have to
Yeah.
do in order to pass that certification. The first
Yeah.
2 times, it was like willy nilly. I watched a few videos here. I read the book,
Mm.
and that was it. I think I took a practice test probably once,
Mm.
and that's it. So you really have to buckle down when it comes to that certification.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
CISSP, and then I got this ISACA C risk after that because I wanted to go more into GRC.
Yeah.
So I wanted to understand that, but I still haven't had a chance to really utilize that certification
Got it.
because the government really puts you anywhere. So I would have to go outside and get a different job to do that.
I see.
But I do understand a little bit about GRC. So probably one day I'll dive more into that. And then AI, I got the IBM Generative AI certification just to
Sweet.
understand how AI works, neural networks, and large
Yeah.
language models and the different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. No, that's like definitely cool. Yeah. The CISSP is kind of like the big the big dog in like the industry. It's like one that make people like literally like cry and pray on like their knees. But I'm definitely proud. I'm proud of you for sticking with it because it reminds me of I had a friend I was really close with in high school, Anastasia, a friend in high school. Shout out, if she's watching this, shout out her. But anyway, she took her driver's license test. She failed like 5 or 6 times, like literally. And I was telling her, I'm like, sis, like once you pass it, no one is gonna know unless you tell them. Like when you're driving, it's not like the police will stop you. Hey, how many times do you take your drive? No, like no one cares after that. So once you get it, like you're in the clear. So that's definitely
Yeah.
beautiful. And also I wanted to ask you about the Sec Plus as well, because my girl, she's actually here. Shout out to my girl because I'm in actually the studio and they have this silent stuff. So shout out to my girl because she kind of got me this spot to like do this recording in. But she was also saying, "See, yo, you gotta ask him about the Sec Plus. Like, ask him because I'm studying for my Sec Plus now at Diversity Cyber Council. Our team is practicing for that." And she was like ask him about like his tips or tricks or like how did you prep for the Sec Plus, right? So for people who are like new, like fresh to this cyberspace, what was your studying um schedule for the Sec Plus?
It was so long ago, but I think I remember with the Security Plus, I did read the official book for that one, and I watched a. I think Cybrary was out at the time. I can't remember. I watched a lot of videos on Cybrary, a lot of definitions. I know there's a lot of definitions when it came to it. So it
Yeah.
probably been about 2012. Yeah, so it's over
Wow.
10 years since I
Wow.
took the Security Plus. So
Yeah.
it definitely it's probably different than when I took it, but
Yeah.
I know I studied like a lot of definitions when it came to the Security Plus,
Mm,
and I think it took me about a month or two when it
mm,
came to studying before I
yeah.
took the test,
Mm.
and yeah, that.
Sweet. Yeah, so it's interesting seeing as time goes on, like the techniques change. Because there's this new thing that dropped like a couple weeks ago. There's these AI YouTube channels, and
Mhm.
basically they're AI speaking about the Sec Plus and making the acronyms so simple. Like they're making it so simple. So it's like this interesting as we evolve and as technology evolves, there's new techniques to learn. But yeah, you said that you were going deeper into the AI as well. So then, what is just your general take, right? Because people have a lot of takes, right? Because it's new. Everyone like, oh, like everyone and their grandma is on AI, right? Everyone and their grandma and their
Mhm.
cat is on AI now, right? So, what is your general view of it, and like, what have you learned about it so far with the IBM certification?
To me, AI is a force multiplier. So wherever you are currently, it's going to multiply that if you know how to utilize it correctly.
Mm,
So here's what how a lot of people mess up when it comes to artificial intelligence.
mm,
They'll just type a random question and it'll just spit out random things, general facts. Sometimes it may cause hallucinations, or they'll say pretend to be this, pretend to be a threat analyst, pretend to be a coach.
mm,
But here's the way how to really utilize AI, because AI is about neural networks and you have to kind of focus it
mm,
into something specific. So what I do, this is a hack. I really don't want to tell people, but so what I do,
yeah,
I read a lot of books and a
yeah,
lot of different people, different genres. It's important to really diversify your knowledge when you're
facts.
learning things.
Agree.
So I focus it to a person. So I'll say, think like such and such, like an actual person.
Uh,
So if you focus it, then it'll be forced to think just like that person. It's not going to think like a general random analyst. It's going to think like that actual person.
mm,
And then you'll get a lot better results when it comes to AI.
mm. That's a really good take, and I like what you said at the start, especially. I think that's probably one of the best definitions I've heard so far. It's a force multiplier, right? So regardless of what you're doing, it kind of just multiply that. And you're, from my understanding, it sounded like you're saying like create the AI. Like just don't use and access like random stuff. Create it first from the person or the energy you want. Then you use it after you prompt it and create it to what you want to be first. So that's
Yes.
actually like really smart. Yeah, that's really smart. Yeah. Yeah, the AI stuff, it's interesting because it feels similar to the cloud to me. It's one of those things like it's interesting, but there's other things in tech that interest me more. But I know that's kind of where the industry is going. So I
Mhm.
kind of like have to be just like, because in tech, you got to kind of keep abreast of everything. So I kind of have to be up to date with all of it. And it was definitely something that people should just be aware of and use to the best of their capabilities. And also, you were saying that you got your Sec Plus right after school. I believe you were saying. So tell
Yeah.
us about your schooling experiences, like what college you went to, your major, and like how that kind of helped you in your, or if it helped you in your tech journey.
Yeah, so I went to Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, HBCU, in Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, cool.
Got my bachelor's in computer information systems. I had really great teachers there that really prepared me for the workforce and my career. Mrs. Chapman, Dr. Black, Dr. Allen. I
Mm,
learned a lot of different skills there. Robotics, I was doing robotics, programming.
mm,
Miss Chapman prepared me for interviews, especially
wow,
like behavioral questions.
wow.
She'll do mock interviews with her students. So they really helped me over there. I really love Florida A&M, my time spent over there. And then I got my MBA in IT management at Western Governors University.
Cool. Hey, that's so cool. Like it's like not say everyone I know is at WG, but Amara, this other brother I interviewed like a episode ago, he just graduated like this month, right? So this is cool because like that's where I like plan on going as well. So this is cool just seeing other people in the industry do it. And how much would you say? All right, so from a scale of 0 to 10, how much would you say like all of those degrees have just helped you in your professional journey?
Definitely, Florida A&M definitely did help me.
Mm,
The MBA, not so much technical, but more recognition,
okay.
I would say.
Yeah, recognition. No, that's huge. And in tech, um, we were talking about. Oh yeah, shout out to like DEF CON. Shout out to everyone at DEF CON. It's like what do you call it? Hacker summer camp right now. So like DEF CON is happening. Black Hat just happened. So shout out to all of the people over there. You see me next year, most likely 9 times out of 10. So in terms of of networking, I know in the past you said that you were looking into like net like working just in terms of like actual computer networks. But in your experience, networking in general, right? With people, whether it be your people in your team, your coworkers, your boss, interns, managers, like just people in general. What are some like tips and tricks you have? Because we were speaking earlier, and you're saying that you really studied this people skill stuff, right? So, what are
Hmm.
people skill gems you could give everybody as they move in their tech journey?
People skills. Hmm. I'll say the one thing that people have to know is know yourself. Know what energy that you want to be around. So if you're introverted, it's going to be pretty hard for you to be around a lot of people. Maybe you want to have one-on-one interactions.
Mm,
Really learning yourself and how you can utilize that in order to communicate with others as well.
mm,
So yeah, really, I say learning yourself.
yeah.
One thing you could practice is recording yourself, your voice, and then giving it to like a coach if you have like a communication coach or something,
Mm,
or someone who you know who's very good at articulating, speaking, and communicating. Send it to them and have them give their feedback to you.
mm,
Um, and try to tweak those things because it may be volume. A lot of people, when they
mm,
talk, they'll start really high and then they'll start to go really low
mm,
because they may feel like what they're saying is people don't really want to listen.
mm,
So those types of things to really tweak and improve yourself, you have to do the work. You have to do these
truly.
things that make you uncomfortable because growth comes from pain. It comes from trial
Mm,
and error. So really you should do the things that are uncomfortable in order to grow. Like for right now, I'm on this podcast, my very first podcast.
yeah, yeah.
So and this is growth for me.
Exactly. But that's like beautiful. And like I like always tell people like it's really like a skill and a discipline thing. Cause like even going back to my mom always says when I was a baby, people thought I was mute because I wouldn't talk. So I'm like naturally like a natural born like introvert. Like most of my, I even remember um, the kids would be playing basketball outside. And my mom would say, "Oh, don't you want to go play with these kids?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go." So I'm a natural introvert. But then it's around high school I realized that I kind of wanted to be more. So I literally forced myself. I felt so uncomfortable, so weird, so like cheesy, just like going up to random people and talking. But I feel like it definitely does help, and it definitely does open a lot of doors. And one thing I would recommend, I actually probably write a book about this actually. Be first, right? So
Mhm.
it's very subtle, right? But like anytime, so you're around a group of friends, it was like, hey, where do you guys want to go? Be the first person to put your input. Say you're in the classroom, she asks, hey, do you guys have any questions? Be the first one to say that. Say you're getting in like a relationship or you're feeling emotions, right? And you're saying like, oh, do they care about? Just be first, right? Because being first, it puts you in a vulnerable position, but also it helps other people open up and be more vulnerable as well. So it's kind of like it's a it's a risk where we like be the reward thing because it's like you're out there and now your face is out there and your thoughts are out there. But then again, now other people could like hear your thoughts and views, and plus they have space to open up as well. So yeah, just always try to be first in like everything, and that's definitely one thing. I actually might write a book in that, and if
That's actually a good book. That's actually a good book title. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that's one thing I would definitely recommend. And so what is oh no actually one side question, but it's more so I guess not personal. But do you know you said you used to work at Blues Island. Do you know Gregory Miller?
No. Mm-mm.
No, okay. Well, he's one of my managers who also used to work there, so I could probably like link you with him because you guys probably have a similar background or trajectory. Because he always talks about those bigger companies and just like how different it is than like smaller companies. Because he went from like
Mm-hmm.
a huge company to like a smaller one. He was like the culture is like entirely different. But I could probably link you with him a different day. But I wanted to ask, where was I going? I'm blanking out. Oh, it's not fun. But so in regards to yeah, I remember now. What is your day in the life, right? So when Neil Greene shows up to like work, right? When he logs into his laptop, what is Neil Greene doing on there? Like, what does it look like? What programs are you using? Who are you reaching out to? Like, how is your day-to-day workflow like?
Okay. My day-to-day workflow. So when I get in right now, when it comes to cyber threat intel, I'm looking at the news articles, different news articles, reading the report from yesterday, and just to see what's out there, what's happening. So my team's primarily responsible for notifying those in critical infrastructure in the United States if there's any vulnerabilities out there. So we have to keep up to date on that every single day.
Mm,
And when we find those things, we have to one find who those asset owners are, and we have to create mitigation guides and documents, and we'll pull that information either from CISA advisories or the vendor advisories, and then we'll put that in a document, and then we'll send it off and notify those companies if
okay,
they have any possible vulnerabilities open on the internet, right?
right.
So it's all internet facing.
Uh,
So we don't want any exposed devices or vulnerable products that's within critical infrastructure being
okay,
targeted by threat actors. So we want them to harden those things.
got it.
So that's pretty much my day to day, every single day when it comes to that. On top of that, now I'm having a team with AI. So
Mm,
AI and automation. So we're using, AI and Python for automation,
mm,
trying to get those processes because a lot of our processes are manual. So we
mm,
want to try to automate it and make the team more efficient in
okay,
order to get out more notifications a lot more efficiently.
yeah,
So we're not wasting a lot of time trying to put everything together. We just want
right.
to be able to do that a lot more efficiently and faster.
No, that's cool. And like actually it makes sense because now I understand it more. Because we need people to like compile all these different news reports and this is vulnerable here and this is vulnerable here. Because I'm just thinking like who does all that? Like what is you? Like
Mhm.
you're the one doing all that. You're the one like
Yeah.
compiling all the stuff and kind of making it into a short summary so we kind of could understand it better. Because I remember when I was a Cybernaut Labs, one of the instructors, his name is miss me now, but he was on is it Feedly? He was on one thing, and he was like, "Yeah, you should just wake up and look at the threat, the cybersecurity piece." I'm like, relax. So I want to wake up and meditate and do breath work. But I do understand the premise. It's being always like up to date because especially as time goes on, like this technology stuff, like a million things are happening every second. So it's people like you who kind
Yeah.
of compile it and just make it more easy for us to understand, basically. So that's really really cool. And like I do want to know this just for like personal curiosity. How was your experience at Blues Island, and what does Blues Island do? Because the way that my manager Gregory he explained it, he was like it's huge. He was like it's like a massive company, right? So how has your experience been like going from bigger or smaller companies, or you wait for DHS, right? The Department of Homeland Security. Yeah, you worked for
Yeah.
DHS is kind of like probably huge as well. So they're both probably huge. But how has been your experience just going from different company cultures, and how have you adapted? And what did you like?
Hmm.
And what didn't you like? You don't got to say specific company names if you don't want to. But like, what things did you like in these different company cultures, and what things did you like?
So when I was working at Booz Allen, I liked the culture. I had a really good team. Only thing I didn't like about it, which I had a terrible experience because they are a consulting company,
Mm,
and like you said, they do a lot of different things. So
mm,
they'll consult for the government, they'll consult for private sector.
or,
It's different technologies here and there. It's a multitude of things that they do
right,
when it comes to consulting.
mm,
So when I got there, I was on there for about 6 months because the contract was ending and they were for a recompete. And then we ended up not getting the contract again, and we lost it out
mm,
to another consulting company. And since I was fresh out of college, it was hard for me to get on another project or contract.
mm,
So they ended up letting me go.
wow,
So I said, I am never going to a consulting contracting company again. So I had a very bad experience when it
uh,
came to that. But
uh,
when I was working there, I had a good time. The culture was good. The people were good.
sweet,
My supervisors were good.
mm,
I learned a lot from them.
mm,
Going to AT&T, that was fully remote, so I didn't go in anymore. Um, that was okay. I did like the remote. I like the flexibility of it, but I kind of like in person and getting to know people.
yeah,
So going back to now at DHS, now I'm seeing my team again. The interaction. Only bad thing is the commute. That's the only thing. But other than that,
yeah.
I like the corporate, the culture over there. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say.
But that's is this so interesting to think about because I feel like when people speak about careers and jobs, they usually solely focus salary, 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 right? Which is important, but there's so much other factors. I feel like a lot of tech and cyber people don't speak about, like what is the culture, how much free time you have, what is the compensation package, do you get stocks, do you get insurance, do you get ben like there's so much other things, right? And that's
Right.
the one thing I've noticed just getting deeper into tech in general because I'm just now getting in, right? But the amount of autonomy I get is way better than any other full time job I've ever had in my life. Like
Yep.
the autonomy, I think is something I value even more. Well, the autonomy and the money, I value both, right? So the autonomy and money are things that are definitely very, very important. So it's very interesting, like to seeing how people grow and change in their career. And I also feel like it depends on what space or what time frame you're in as well. Because I'm thinking about going back to school, and then my girl was like, "Oh, there's colleges here too." You like, why don't you take out the physical like colleges and stuff like that? So whether it's like school or like business or career, just kind of seeing like what is a good fit. Because I feel like in the past I used to say like very black and white statements, but now it's kind of like things are very. It's a whole rainbow. It's a whole
Yep.
rainbow like different things that people could like do. And yeah, tell us so you're saying that going back no, I know where I'll go. The Python, right? So I know before you're saying that you're not huge into the programming stuff, right? But now you're going to be managing people who are right, who are deep into the programming stuff, right? So for the team you are building, what are some like programming languages you feel like are very essential for people just now getting into the cyber space?
Uh, well, I would say, yeah, Python is definitely one. I think JavaScript is also another one that
Mm,
they utilize as well.
mm,
I think those are really the two
main.
main ones I would say.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know it's also important to command line stuff for
yeah,
Linux, not necessarily programming, but that's also important because we do a lot of things on the command line
yeah,
when it comes to running those scripts in Python through MacBook, through Linux, or through
yeah.
Windows. So it's
Right, right.
important to know command line interface commands as well.
Yeah, like I feel like those are like the top, the top three. Well, all right. So for Linux, Bash is popular, but not as popular as JavaScript and Python. JavaScript is like all of a good chunk of the front end web development space is a lot of JavaScript. And it's funny because I always get a story when I was first landed in Florida. I was going to all these different colleges after hackathons. I went to Shell Hacks, which is like the biggest hackathon in Florida, pretty much. And I was
Hmm.
talking to the students, and we were just making projects or whatever, right? I kid you not, every single student asked them, "Hey, what are you using to program this project?" Python, JavaScript. Python, well, React, because React is like a specific JavaScript framework. So there was like React, Python, React, Python. I'm like, sheesh, this is modern day. Like this is like all they're doing. So it kind of reminds me of it sometimes reminds you of hip hop a little bit. Cause I'm like 26, right? But I sometimes be feeling like an old head. Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I'm serious, because a lot of the programming languages like aren't things that people have like a lot of people use modern day. Like the C, I was reading this book on assembly. People really don't, unless you're a super deep malware analyst. People don't even touch that stuff now. And then
Hmm.
the same thing with like hip hop. I feel I like the like old school like the KRS-One, Rakim. I'm going all the way back, right? So I feel like
Hmm.
I'm 10 years older than I am. But it's just interesting seeing how technology is evolving. Because even I was watching clips, they're saying that all of the COBOL developers, they're basically dying out. So now COBOL jobs are really like important because no one else knows like COBOL anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, that stuff is super, super interesting to me. But yeah, like, so tell us a bit more about your like personal life. So what do you like to do for fun? So say Neil had a week off, right? A week off, all the bills paid. Um, wife and kids are on like hey, mom and dad are out like everyone is gone. Is just you nil for like a week, right? And you have all the free time, all the money to do what you want, right? What are you doing with that week?
If I had all the money, also that's a different perspective. Um, I'll say first thing I'll do when I wake up every day is train, go to the gym, or I have a home gym here,
Here we
kettlebells, things
go.
like
Let's
that.
go. Yeah.
So go to the gym, walk, read. I like reading different books. Actually, I have the book I'm reading now. It's called Critical Thinking,
Oh, he brought up the
Logic,
books. Let's
and Problem
go.
Solving. So I read about an hour.
Oh, let's go.
Um, because I believe a sharp body keeps a sharp mind, and that applies in cyber as well. So, um, honestly, just spend. I like spending time with my kids. With my son and daughter, wrestling, laughing with them, seeing
Yeah.
the world through their eyes.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, and that's it.
that's like beautiful.
Traveling. Yes, I have to say that too.
Yeah.
One of the things I love to do as well is travel. So.
Mm. No, that's like beautiful. And you said something very pertinent, seeing the world through your children's eyes. And I love technology, right? But seeing where like the new generation, like how things are going with technology, and then people just giving their babies like tablets and on TikTok and already using AI, and the baby's talking to the AI, like it's
Yeah.
wicked, right? So, what is your view on like having to parent and raise a child, but we're in this like such a technology seeped culture? Like, what age do you think, or how do you think you will introduce that to? Because you work in cyber, right? But like,
Hmm.
how do you think you will like introduce it to them to in a way that's not destructive, right? Because I feel like a lot of times parents aren't even aware of technology too much in general, so they just give it to them, but they don't know what they're giving them, right? But you're a cybersecurity professional, right? So how would you introduce that to your children, or how are you introducing that to your children?
Well, they do have iPads, so they're on it. But funny thing about my children is they actually don't like to be on it for too long. They actually like playing with each other, running
Oh,
around.
cool. Oh, that's
Also,
beautiful.
a big thanks to my wife as well. She takes them out to the parks
Yeah.
sometimes, or we both go to. All of us go together to the parks or outside riding their bikes. They're
Yeah.
very active kids, so they really don't like to sit still and to
Mm.
watch something all day.
Okay.
So
They're beautiful.
credit to them. So
Yeah.
we just always have to monitor what they're watching because there's some
Mhm.
weird stuff on YouTube,
Yeah.
even on YouTube Kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
that they may start to mimic, bad habits like Peppa Pig crying all the time for no reason, and then my son and daughter would just start crying for no reason, like fake crying, just
Yeah.
so it's very important to monitor what your kids are watching.
Yeah, that's definitely major. No, definitely shout out to you and your wife as well, because I was watching this clip. You know how people be always saying, "Oh, your baby's so smart," but the parents literally instill that smartness into the child. It's not like it's just randomly or just smart. Like the parent has
Yeah.
to kind of like there are some genius babies that pop out of nowhere, but usually the parent is like guiding them on that process. So definitely shout out to you and your wife as well. Does your wife work in cyber too, or like she's like in a different sphere?
No, she's a mental health therapist.
Oh, mental health therapist. That's deep. Yo, that you could actually reminds me of Priscilla. This lady, she gave me this course a while ago. She was like mental health and cybersecurity, right? So you looking at all these different threats, all these different attacks, all these different vulnerabilities, right? Like like how do you keep your mental balance and focus? Because I know looking at that stuff, it kind of get a bit like I don't know, like the energy could be weird at times, especially once you go like because there is ethical hacking, but then there's the thing is like there's a lot of criminal activities too. There's a lot of dark stuff on the internet. Of course, we love tech, but we can't act like there's not criminals doing really shady stuff, right? So
Mhm.
like let's learn about all these threats and attacks. Like how do you keep your mind clear?
So when it comes to cyber, you have to understand that there's no such thing as 100% safety.
Mm,
We just try to mitigate things as best as we can.
mm,
So it's all about reducing the amount of surface area or attacks that a threat actor can have. So
mm,
that's the mental mind frame that I have, that we're not going to stop every single thing that's out there, but we want to limit the amount of damage that a threat actor can do.
mm. See. That's definitely important. It reminds me of a quote. It's funny. Speaking about AI, I was asking, I think it was Copilot or ChatGPT to kind of make me this document or whatever, right? And then they
Hmm.
gave me this quote. I forgot the guy's name. If anyone knows the guy's name, tell me now his name. But it said cybersecurity isn't a product, it's a process. Kind of saying that it's not like, oh, cybersecurity, we're done. All right, we're cybersecurity, we finished it, it's super secure, we're done.
Yep.
Like, it's like no, it's like actually you got to keep going. Actually, got to keep actually making sure it's secure because the like criminals aren't stopping. The criminals
Yeah.
got no days off. They don't got no PTO, none of that, right? They're
Hmm.
just working all the time. So we definitely do got to stay like sharp in that area.
But you
And
also want to apply that to life too. That's a really good
mm,
quote.
yeah, true.
Life is a process,
Yeah.
because if you think about it, when you achieve something, you work all the way up a process to achieve something, and once you get it, you don't just stop. Say
Yeah.
for instance, everyone who's made six figures, right before they got it, they're just like, oh, I want to make six figures so bad, so bad. And then they get it. They
Yeah.
feel good for about a week or two,
Literally.
and then it's like it's not enough, right?
Yeah.
So they keep going, they keep striving. So you have, everything is a process,
Mm,
because you're not going to find happiness when you stop. You got to keep going. You got to keep
yeah.
improving, get better
Yeah.
every single day. There's
Yeah.
always something new to learn. There's always new people to meet.
Yeah.
So just think of life as a process and just keep going and keep learning.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And I have a a theory or a thought. So I've studied like a lot of different spiritual books, but I think in my view, like the human spirit, soul, consciousness, we're kind of all the same God-like consciousness, just in different forms, right? So like I'm the creator here, you're the creator there. We're all like inside its creation looking at itself, right? And I feel like the reason that those desires, and I think that the Buddha spoke about this a bit, the desires they kind of don't end, but I feel like it makes sense it doesn't end because I feel like in our soul we know that we're like infinite beings, yet we're
Hmm.
localized to this physical vessel for a certain amount of time. So that's why
Hmm.
we're always trying to strive to have the biggest house or the biggest family or the best, I don't know, art or the best whatever the heck. Just trying to expand ourselves because I feel like we're trying to get back to the creator which we're a part of. In one sense, so that's going like way out there deep, but that's kind of my like view on it. So I think it's a natural for humans to want to grow and expand. Definitely.
Yeah, I understand that because that's something that I actually researched and really thought about as well. So there's a thing that my coach told me. He calls it the path to disappointment or the path to fulfillment. So he said desire comes from the contemplation of happiness in objects, being situations, and circumstances. So the objects being like the things that you want, money, cars. Beings would be like a girlfriend. So you're trying to hold on to that person, girlfriend or boyfriend, right? Situations like causes that are greater than yourself, and circumstances, just different circumstances in your life. But he said the path to fulfillment, right? So you have to find these things that are infinite, what he said, infinite and eternal. So
Mm,
seeking knowledge, you can never have too much knowledge. You're
mm,
always going to be learning. There's always something new. And with
mm,
that knowledge, you can create the objects that you want.
mm,
Seek care, love, and concern for others. You can never be too kind to somebody or help people. There's no finite number to helping people, and that'll create better relationships with people. Better seeking a cause greater than myself. So just helping people out in the community, that like my Diversity Cyber Council, giving back. That'll
mm,
create better situations because if you go out there and talk to people, evangelize with people, you meet new people, and then you'll have better situations. And seeking the face of God or Creator, Buddha, Allah, whatever you call the higher being, then you'll have better circumstances.
wow. That who is your coach? Like who is your mentor? Like where are you getting this from? You know? Like
his
that's
name
deep.
his name's Jeff Witt. He has a program called The Foundry. So
Wow, that's beautiful. And it's beautiful that you like seek out mentors and coaches and you are a mentor and a coach. So that's interesting because I always use the example people like Michael Jordan had a coach, you know. So I feel like regardless like what level you're at, I feel like you always need somebody on the outside to kind of see your blind spots to kind of guide you. Because I feel like similar to in like a car, I remember when I was getting my driver's license, right? I learned
mhm.
there's this one blind spot on like the back where like you can't see. Or you just can't see when you're driving. And I feel like in life maybe very similar at times because of course we get very focused on our goals and ambitions, but while we have that there's these slight blind spots that we might have, and that's where like a coach or a mentor or a guide or a teacher may be able to help you on that like process. So like that's definitely really really cool.
Yep, they hold you accountable. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they like hold you accountable. And do you have any, so but besides the guy you were just speaking about, who are other people who inspired you for firstly in your cyber journey, then outside of that, who are just people that you pulled a lot from that kind of motivated you on your journey?
Say for my cyber journey, I would say my friends, we kind of grew up together, so we always challenge each other. We learn from each other.
Mm,
Colin, I know you probably met him at Diversity Cyber Council, Odie,
mm,
and my friend Travis. We kind of learn different things and we share with each other. So I didn't
mm.
necessarily have a mentor when it came to cyber, but it was a passion of mine. So we always studied it all the time and we talk about it every single day.
Wow.
Um, and what was the second question?
I mean, yeah, there's people who have motivated you in cyber, and there's people who have motivated you in life in like general.
Life in general. Well, yeah, my coach Jeff,
Mm.
um, my wife, she's
Uh,
definitely motivated me. She's always been my biggest cheerleader, and she's helped me out tremendously throughout the years, especially because she is a very outgoing social person. So she helped me definitely with my communication skills and
wow.
really putting myself out there.
Mm.
So I'll say those two are probably the biggest ones that I can think of right now.
No, that's definitely like beautiful. And speak shout out to Odie because Odie he's the guy who created Diversity Cyber Council. So how did you meet Odie? Because it sounds like you guys are like friends from way back. But how did you meet Odie?
So I met Odie through Colin. So him and Colin actually go
Um,
way back through the army. So they've known each
um,
other for a decade or longer. So I
wow.
met Odie probably about 5 or 6 years ago since Diversity Cyber Council started. So
Wow.
that's when I met him.
Oh, has it been that? I didn't even realize it was long because I just joined like this year pretty much. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it was that long. But no, shout out to Odie because he's definitely helping like a lot of people just get into the tech industry. Because we took our CompTIA Tech Plus last time, and now we're going for our CompTIA Sec Plus. And it's from what I know, it's like a non-profit. So he's kind of like just helping people along that journey, and like it's
Yep.
beautiful seeing that because I feel like sometimes people say that it's they say that there's a lot of gatekeepers in tech, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know, like you know what's the other thing? I feel like there's so much narratives that I hear, and I mean they sound true, and they probably are true, but I just haven't experienced it yet. For me, like for me at least, I haven't really experienced gate. I mean, not really, because I think more people open doors for me than they close doors on me. Honestly, so like so far, yeah.
So I think there's a reason for that, right? Because you are very outspoken, you put yourself out there, and I think it's harder for those people who know that they have the intellect but they can't communicate that. So
Fear.
that's why it's very heavy. So I'll tell you this,
Mm,
something that changed my life over the past year. So I was pretty much introverted
mm,
and I was stuck as an analyst. I felt like I wasn't really moving up in my career. I was still at a good spot, better than most, but I
mm,
wasn't really seen in the organization. So until I started putting myself out there, putting my ideas out there, actually making an effort to meet people like executives and just talking to them randomly about life. It doesn't even have to be about the industry you're in, just life in general. That's when things really started opening up for me. So I can understand why someone may feel like it's being gatekept because they know that they have the knowledge and the intellect to do the job that they want to do. But you really have to put yourself out there and let people know what you know in your mind and be able to communicate that to people. So I think you do a very good job at doing that. And that's why I'm so heavy on communication and
mm.
uh, emotions and empathy for people because you have to really understand people in order to really have some type of synergy with them, and then they'll be able to open those doors for you.
Yes, yes, and like I know I definitely appreciate it because I kind of there's a quote. I feel like my insecurities made me secure in a sense. It's like the stuff that I wasn't good at. Since I knew I wasn't good at it, I just studied it so much until I could be good at
Right.
it, pretty
Yep.
much. So that's kind of what I'm doing in a sense. But even now, I still feel like I don't share enough because I like know the tech stuff I know. My friends know the tech stuff I know, but I feel like when it comes to companies and people who don't know me, that's why I'm being more adamant with this like podcast, my YouTube, my LinkedIn, my GitHub, just like because I know tech stuff, right? And I feel like sometimes
Hmm.
I'm not sure if this is real or if I'm just feeling that, but I feel like people sometimes don't see that. But I feel like I feel like I make my bed and I sleep in it because if I don't share things, I don't speak about it, I can't be surprised when people overlook me for not speaking about something. Like I feel like if I want people to know certain stuff, I have to speak upon it more. And I would suggest this for everybody. As soon as you learn something, share it. Like learn, share. Like you have to share what you know. Because I saw this post on LinkedIn. The lady was like, "There's people with half your experience, half your following, half your intellect, yet they have twice the amount of clients, twice the amount of money because
Hmm.
their marketing and their sales are so good." And I'm like, okay, I got to focus on that as well because it's like you have to have the skills and then you have to have the sales. And once you go match the
Yeah.
skills to the sales, it's a done game after that. Yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm definitely building that up. So you said that you're getting into the Scrum stuff, right? So first, what Scrum certifications do they have? And then after that, where do you kind of see your career going? Do you think you are going to stay with DHS, or you're going to start your own company, or freelance, or like where do you see yourself? This is always funny because you know how in like high school they were always, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? But it's like even when we're growing up, it's like people ask us the same question. But no, where do you see yourself going in the future?
uh, Staying with Scrum, this is a skill that I'm trying to learn. So I'll probably stay for probably like 1 to 2 years and see what else I can do. As far as the future, I do desire to start a company. I actually do have a company, but with Colin, but it's still in the process right now. So we don't have anything official right now, but we want to work on that because he's trying to create an app to be threat intelligence app to where we can sell it to different companies and things like that. So he's currently working on that right now. Shout out to him. And yeah, I think going that way, working through DHS, I'm not sure how much longer I'll stay there. I really do enjoy it there. I do believe in the mission there. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going for right now. I like where I'm at right now, but I do want to continue to grow and see where else I can push myself in different areas when it comes to cyber and IT and AI.
That's definitely beautiful to hear because you're starting your own business. That's a huge step. That's a huge step. So definitely shout out to you and Colin for putting out over there because I plan to do the same in the future. But I feel like I'm so early in my career. I feel like I still got to like build up a bit more. But that's definitely beautiful to hear. And let's see. Who? So we spoke about OD. Who would you want to give a shout out to, or who would you think? Yeah, who would you want to give a shout out to, or who do you think will be a good fit for like a similar interview next time? Because I think like we're kind of working through referrals now in a sense. But who would
Hmm.
just want to give a shout out to? Like it could be someone you know, someone you don't know, just like anyone in the cyberspace that you could feel like, oh, they're doing cool stuff, and I want to shout out them.
I would say Colin Larizu, or one of my colleagues, Gabe Davis. He works for Schneider Electric. He
Mhm.
does some CTI stuff over there as well. Today's his birthday.
Oh, cool!
So
Birthday is lit. Let's go.
yeah, yeah. I say those two would probably be good.
Yeah, but that's definitely cool because it's important. I remember one of the mentors at Cybernet Labs, he always said, he said, cybersecurity is a team sport. Cybersecurity is a team sport. Cybersecurity is a team sport. Like he would just like that mantra was like put right into our head. So having a network of people, it definitely helps. Even people in your direct company, yes, but the people outside of your
Hmm.
company, right? Because and it's something I'm getting better at. Just as I get deeper in the industry, just connecting different dots. Because if I hear this person's in the cloud, I know this person's cloud, introduce him. This person's into CMMC. This person's in CMC, introduce him. This person's studying for the CISSP. Like it's like I just always try to connect and introduce people. And I feel like
Yeah,
it's a beautiful experience because now the lines are blurring so much where it's kind of like even this because I met you from Diversity Cyber Council. Now I got you here, right? So it's kind of like it's like a
yeah.
cross
Mhm.
pollinary, like, and that's the thing I love because it's like especially one thing I would recommend people who are they're finding a hard time getting in the industry. Join all the free, join all the apprenticeships and boot camps and cohorts that you can, right? Because I think the a pivotal change in my tech journey, a lot of everything before November 2024 was self-taught, pretty much. Like everything before that was self-taught. But when I joined Cyberdown Labs, right, and I actually started had to have a team of people who were interested in the same stuff, that changed the game for me, right? Because before that, I was solely in my room alone on Linux, just watching YouTube videos, like on the
Yeah,
just doing things alone, right? Which was fun. But then once I was able to share my passion with other people as well, it made the journey like 1,000 times better. So there's a lot of there's a lot of different organizations that can always help in that journey. Of course, I recommend Blacks in Cyber and Diversity Cyber Council because those are the ones that I'm a part of. But there's a lot of other different tech organizations that are free as well, that you could just join and like rub shoulders. Because you know what they say? I remember one of my old I used to do network marketing in the past, right? I remember one of those talks they were saying that the only way a magnet gets stronger is by rubbing up against a stronger magnet. That's the only way, right? So I think it's very similar with human beings. Once you're around someone who is like great or like grand and you're
hmm,
rubbing shoulders with them, you're talking with them, like they always get the saying, we're the some of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So definitely start rubbing shoulders with these people. Like, hey, like what are you working on? Hey, like how are things over there? So that's definitely what I would recommend as well as having a large network with different organizations as well. I would recommend as well.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. I did have to ask this because before we even go in, your background, brother. Like I hopped on, it looked like you were a whole like model. It looked like you were a whole like legit. It looked like you were like an actor, a model, like a scene was about to start. But tell us about because you were showing us your camera earlier. But tell us about your film kind of journey as well, because I think that is going to take you far. Because the thing is, you already have that skill set. So if you like you in the future making content or videos or whatever, it was to be so easy for you because you already know that stuff, you know. But
Mhm.
you tell us a bit about that because even me, I need advice honestly. But people who want to create like good like videos or pictures or lighting, like what would you recommend for people who are just now getting in the online YouTube and content space?
What I would recommend if you're trying to get into content creating, just record and post it. That's the
Okay.
one thing because everyone's trying to get it to be perfect,
That's cool.
and the like you said, you have to have a process or just go through the journey because over time you'll get better and better at it. So
Mm,
just keep working on it, keep posting. That's something that I'm struggling with right now because I'm
mm,
not on doing it on a consistent basis right now.
mm,
So I got to put myself. I got to be more disciplined in doing that.
mm,
So photography and videography was something that it was a hobby of mine that I really enjoyed and I really studied it in depth and I have all this equipment and stuff, so I really got to utilize it now. I started off just doing like portrait photography, learning about lighting and nature. So it was something that it was freeing from like the work life. So
yeah,
I really just enjoy just taking pictures.
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to get back to being more consistent and just utilizing my skills in that area.
Wow.
Definitely.
Now that's definitely like an interest. It's funny because I feel like everyone has something that they could learn from other people. Like you were saying that you have all the quality, but it's being more consistent. But now on the other side, people are consistent, but they don't have the quality. So I feel like it's definitely finding the good
Yeah.
balance and dance between both of those. But yeah, I think we're getting close to the hour mark. I think. But I wanted you to say like any last remarks, any shout outs, share your social media, share your links, the projects you're working on. Just share like everything that you are doing, so the people could kind of get in touch with you.
Oh, sure. Well, you can find me on social media at I am Neil Greene on Instagram, LinkedIn. I think is ngreen1. Facebook, I think is I am Neil Greene as well. So just type it in. The projects I'm working on, Diversity Cyber Council. So if you are struggling to break into cyber or tech, definitely get into that. I have my fitness thing. I'm also a fitness coach. So
Oh,
for men, fitness coach for men, and Foundry Brotherhood, where we help men discover who they truly are, strip away the noise, and rebuild like principles to let them operate at a high level when it comes to their body, their being, and their balance. So
wow.
you can dominate in business or in life. Because when a man's health is sharp, his spirit is aligned. And his relationships are solid. His career can naturally level up. So I
Wow.
that happened to me personally, so that's something that I want to share with other people.
Wow. That's
And
beautiful.
yeah, other than that, that's it.
Wow.
Shout out
That's
to you. Shout out to you, Bit, for having me on this
of
as
course,
well.
brother. Of course. No, again, it's beautiful, especially the work you're doing with the men as well. Because I feel like women. I feel like it helps if women have help from women, if men have help from men. Because I feel like that's something that a lot of our people have kind of lost because they don't have the same elders or the same type of parents that like we used to have. So that's definitely a beautiful thing. So I'm gonna definitely ask you more about that. But yeah, on my end, Bit Buddha Pacey on everything. Bit Buddha on GitHub, YouTube, LinkedIn URL as well as BitBuddha, majority of them. So you can find me and they'll add it in the description as well. But no, thank you, Neil. I appreciate you so much for coming on. You're like a wealth of wisdom. Not only are you wealth of wisdom, I feel like you're clear. Like you're clear, like I feel like your spirit and soul is just like clear. It's like you're very like clear and healthy like God. So I really respect that as well. But yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Something I
All right.
work to get to. So
Yeah, indeed, indeed, indeed.
yeah.
All right, peace.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, cool. Um, sweet, sweet, sweet. James, how